after 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth! Alpha, readers escape. Recruit a group of teenagers with attitude. Run away, Zordon! That's how we start the Power Rangers podcast. Hi, my name is Irish soccer fan in Kentucky.
I'm Venus Diaz.
And welcome to another Power Rangers. Welcome to another podcast where this time we're going to be doing Power Rangers. We're first going to do Mighty Morphin Power. But before we do, I just want to say we're going to delete the... Later I'm going to delete the Jumanji episode and we're going to try it again because it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with this. The Day of the Dumpster.
Which had two astronauts in space.
Yep, explore the moon. It was, and they see a space dumpster and said, "Ooh, what's?"
Houston, we found something. It's a dumpster. It looks like.
What? Who would throw a dumpster in space? This is weird.
Space garbage.
And then they accidentally open it, and it reveals a bunch of creatures.
Rita Repulsa.
Yeah, and Rita, he says, after 10,000 years, I'm free! And then he says, oh. Then she destroys their ship. Their rocket.
We're going to need another ship.
Yeah, and then just, don't leave. You'll miss my coming out party. And what she doesn't know is that 5 teenagers are hanging out at the local youth center. One's named Sora Scottley. And he's training Deku, one of his best friends.
Well, technically, it was Luffy and him sparring.
Yeah, it's been so long. I should have watched Day of the Dumpster earlier. Yeah.
Where Luffy is trying out his new stuff called Hip Hop Keto.
Yeah. And Luffy sees his and later on Kairi and Sakura.
Well, Sakura's doing gymnastics while Kairi's doing some martial arts stuff.
Yeah, and after they get done and Kiba and Choji show. Oh great, it's them. Hey girls, how about that?
Double date.
And Kairi says, "Guys, I told you, I'm dating Sora."
What about you, Sakura? Sorry, I'm not into dogs. I'm more of a cat person.
Then he goes, and then they get into their shenanigans and they make it a mess. I believe that's what happened.
Yeah, they try to attack them, but they get shown up.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, Sora's teaching his class, and his friend Deku joins in.
Yeah. We're gonna touch on their backstory, how they got together as friends. And they met at school one time. Deku was being bullied when he was being little, and Sora and Luffy defending them. And said, "I'm gonna help." And he says, "I'm gonna help you how to defend yourself." Thanks, Sora. Then he gets all the Deku and this is awkward. And then they went to Ernie's juice. Should it be Ernie the juice bar, or should we have a different character?
I don't know who we replace him with.
Yeah, well, I know who I'm replacing Mr. Kaplan with. Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Skinner with his flashbacks.
yeah. And no, it's not Tamzarian.
We're not doing that episode we shall never talk about.
Right. After and while they were doing the karate class, Choji asks, teach me how to beat people up. And sources, martial arts is not about fighting; it's about discipline, or something like that.
Discipline in defense, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't watched these episodes in a while.
Yeah, and then he does that kick, like he doesn't even. He's in. That he. Sorry. He's. I should have learned from. I should have watched Karate Kid. It says Choji.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah. Then Deku was doing okay for his first class, and then after that they went to Orange Juice Bar, and just said, "You know what? You did. You did great today, Deku. I did." Then he sees.
Honestly, I assume the Juice Bar was in the same area as the karate class.
I do too. I'm confused by that.
Because I think in the third season it was, or it was always like that.
Yeah, at the Juice. Deku looks over. Then he does a double take. It's his crush, Ochako Oria, and she's with her one of her friends, Nami. Of course, they're friends. They're friends with Kairi and Sakura too, but they just don't hang out as much. You know what I mean? They will. They will eventually, and we're developing. You'll see what we'll do with Nami and Ochako. But first, an earthquake happens. Everyone leaves except for our heroes. And Sora says, Sora says, why are we staying here? Let's go. And Sora says, I don't know, but I have this feeling that we should. And meanwhile,
we get over to the command center where Sora asks, "Can we revive some overbearing, over-emotional people?" No, not teenagers.
Yeah, I love that line.
Have you met a teenager, Zoran?
Yeah, they're always so whining and complaining.
So then the 5 of them get teleported to the command center. And they're asking, where are we? I think Sakura asks, and then they meet Alpha, which Deku takes a liking to, seeing him as a robot.
Yeah, and he says it's silence Momo says, so Source and Luffy says, you sound like Donatello. And then
they meet the big floating head.
And Sakura is saying, am I dreaming this? I'm still dreaming. Because we're getting a little bit more realistic. Because
yeah, how would you react seeing a giant head in a tube?
Yeah.
Greetings, young ones. I am Zordon of Eltar, and I have brought you here for a very good reason. And that is what, asked Sora?
And my name is Alpha 5. And Sakura says, can someone
wake me up from this dream?
Yeah, and Zora says, allow me to explain. Earth is under attack, and I brought you here to save it. Really? A non-believer. Observe the viewing globe. Your doubts will be answered. This is Rita Repulsa. She is one of the most evil villains in our world. But she's not the most evil.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I know the other season, so I'm saying debatable for that.
Yeah. And Kairi asked, what does this have to do with us? You've been chosen to be part of an elite team, Warriors.
The Power Rangers.
And you would be given access to extraordinary powers from
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs? And Luffy said, "You mean from like Jurassic Park? I love that movie."
Even though we're going through different eras.
Yes.
Since I'm pretty sure a Mastodon and Saber-Tooth Tiger are not part of that era.
I doubt that either. And then he gives
we'll just roll with it.
Yeah, and then Zordon gives him the Morphers.
Sora, you shall be the Red Ranger, leader of the team. Luffy, the Black Ranger. Deku, the Blue Ranger. Kairi, the Yellow, and Sakura, the Pink Ranger.
You will be called the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Morph? Metamorphosis, says Deku. And Kairi, translated, it means the chain. Because Trini was the second smartest one.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to make Sakura here the second smartest, since she was smart and when she was written that way.
She was the smartest one in her class next to Shikamaru.
Yeah.
Yes, whenever they let her be smart.
Yeah, and then he showed them the visions of the Megazord. And Luffy said, "Nah, that's too much for me." Yeah, they refused to be part of it, and then Zordon said, "All right, may the power protect you." And Alpha says, "That didn't go very well. Don't worry, Alpha."
Sora stay behind. I forget if Jason did that.
Yeah, he did. He says he was thinking about, guys, I think we should stay. What? He chose us to save the world. And that's always been my dream, to be a hero. Just like my dad. I'm gonna make Terra and Aqua his parents here.
Okay.
Just like my dad. Terra in this is a cop, and he's one of the greatest, and he's the most heroic cop in Angel Grove. And well,
we could probably work that in here somewhere where the police will actively work with the Rangers, I guess.
Yeah, we could do that. Because I doubt the police can handle Rita.
I mean, we don't really see cops a lot in Power Rangers, so
yeah. And when they do, they're just about as useless as the ones on superhero movies.
So then they get outside and are attacked by the putties.
Yeah. And
trying to fight them off.
But the putties were stronger than they were. And then
Sora gets an idea like, guys, we have these morphers. Let's morph.
And he said, Mastodon, Triceratops, Saber-Tooth Tiger, Tyrannosaurus. When I was a kid, that always gives me chills when I was 5.
And they all morph into their ranger suits and take care of the putties. And I think Goldar shows up.
Yep, and I think it's because of the suits that made them more stronger.
Yeah.
And Deku said, "Wow, these suits are amazing. I'm fighting better with these suits than I have been without them." Don't. And Sora said, and Deku then credits Sora, and it's also thanks to your teaching, Sora. Thanks. Then.
Yeah, Goldar's like, who's the monkey?
And so, I am Goldar, and they fight Goldar.
I forget. Did they form them? I think they formed the Megazord in this one because Goldar grows giant.
Yeah.
We need dinosaur power now, and they summon their Zords.
Yeah.
And form the Megazord.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Goldar gets away.
You know, and Sora said, "How did you know how to use this Megazord, Sora?" I think it's
It's
the
like it
power.
just came into me.
Yeah, yeah. Not to mention it's the suits. I believe it's the suits that cause them to do that.
Basically, just downloads the info into them.
Yeah. And after their victory, um,
They're back in the command center, and Zoran explains the rules.
yeah,
You must always keep your identity secret.
Norman, which is kind of pointless because the villains know the secret.
But we're working with, like, there's a status quo with this, so we really can't break it in some cases.
Right. Yeah, who are the three basic rules? Um,
I know the identity never escalate a fight unless it's needed. And I forget the third
never
one.
I think it was
Use
either.
your powers for personal gain.
Yeah,
I think those were the three rules. I know the identity and the Zord thing were two of
yeah.
them.
And Luffy says, actually, Luffy would not be the one to say because he's always the one wanting to fight.
Yeah.
Because Zack says we got lucky this time. I doubt Luffy would say that.
No, Luffy's always aching for fighting.
Yeah, Deku would be
But
the one.
he'll know to restrain himself here.
Yeah, this Luffy is smarter than the real Luffy.
Not that much smarter, but he's not. He knows how to follow the rules this time.
Yeah. After all, Sora is the leader.
And Cyrus, I don't know, guys, with the whole thing, my hair getting in the helmet.
Yeah, we're not making her a Valley Girl though.
We're doing at least making her a little bit like Kimberly.
Yeah.
But then they do the whole. They put their hands together and go Power Rangers.
And then.
So next would be High Five.
Yeah, and I think this is.
And that's where they get their Deku makes their communicators.
Yeah.
Because in this one, Rhea's got a time device and they have to fight Bones.
Yeah, who was the first boss of the Power Rangers Super Nintendo game. Yeah, we see that Kairi is afraid of heights. And so every time she's in she gets high up, always clings on to Sora. This is when we see that. Well, actually, we say they were dating, but we see more of their relationship here.
Do you get that scene where Luffy and Sakura lock on to Sora and spin around?
Yeah. And then Rita had Fencer create the skeleton monster, and was Nightmare Before Christmas the thing back then? I mean,
I don't know if it was out by that point or not.
Because I was gonna make a Jack Skellington ghost.
Jack Skeleton joke.
Yeah, joke. Yeah, and then Luffy said he looks like our. He also looks like our music teacher, Brooke, Mr. Brooke. Because Brooke has a skeleton mask. And he still does skull jokes. We'll learn more about Angel Grove High when we get there.
Right. So they're defeating Bones. They have to fight a giant in the Megazord.
Yeah, and one of them captured Sora. Sora. And then Sora his somebody's gun. I had enough of you. He shoots it, and then he uses Tyrannosaurus to fight the giant, which I like. That one of my favorite fights because
they rarely use the individual Zords a lot.
Yeah, I think we'll do that more than they do.
Okay.
Yeah. Next is
Next is teamwork, where they have to fight the mighty Minotaur.
yeah, it's when Sakura and
Now
Kairi.
they're trying to get that waist dump closed.
Yeah, because they're
Goody goods.
yep.
This could be like a fight for Sora, Luffy, and Deku. While the girls take care of Goldar.
Yeah, when they're on Morph, they're the weakest members, but they'll get stronger because it's called character development.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that, Mr. Kishimoto?
Or any modern writers.
Yeah. You know, it's sad that we're writing women better than they do.
Mm-hmm.
And
I see Sakura getting a couple good hits on Goldar.
yeah, but Goldar is still stronger.
Yeah.
But then they go morph and they fight the Minotaur monster. But he's a match for them. But they were not a match for him. So Zordon summoned them and they get this power weapons.
Sora gets the swords, as Luffy the axe, Deku the lance, Trina the Kairi the daggers, and Sakura the bow.
Yeah, her sword will look like a keyblade.
Like, let's combine weapons. And they combine them, and I think that's how they beat the Minotaur before he grows.
Yeah.
Make my monster grow.
I always loved that. I love the Kara asks, how did she get the wand back?
Maybe it just appears back in her hand.
Yeah.
Or just goes back up to her like Mjolnir.
That's what I always thought too. It never bothered me like it did in Kara.
He just nitpicks some things.
Yeah. And later we see Sora's character. Sora's back. A Sora episode when he tried to break. I doubt his bulk bench pressing record.
Yeah,
I doubt Bulk would.
A pressing engagement where he tries doing that, and
Yeah, I doubt Kiba holds the record. In fact, I find it hard to believe Bulk holds the record. Because look at him. He's fatter than Chris Farley.
Sora's trying to do it, but then Ernie loses count.
Yeah. And they said, you did. And Sora's trying to doubt himself a little bit. I believe that was the episode about.
I think so.
Yeah. And then Rita plans to separate Sora and to have him fight King Sphinx.
Honestly, this is a cool looking monster, honestly.
Yeah, I remember he was always in advertised. He was always in the Power Ranger coloring books and all those that he was the monster they showed the most. He was the most popular one.
Yeah.
Too bad they kill him off here, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it's basically Sora fighting him alone since his wings can blow the others away.
Yeah. And Sphinx, he fights some Goldar and Sphinx, and then Kairi, Sakura, and Luffy reunited with Kairi and Deku, and they see that Sora is struggling with the grown Goldar and Sphinx, and said, we gotta help them.
Maybe they should fight Goldar while Sora fights Sphinx.
Yeah. and the and then after hearing his friends coming back and helping, Sora started to believe himself again. Sorry about that, my nephew. Anyway, um, and, and Sora started to mature as a leader, and then they all summoned the Megazord, and like it.
Then after that, Sora goes back and actually breaks the bench press record.
Yep. Rather than being held by Choji, it was held by his father.
Yeah, I could probably chose to having it more than him.
Yeah. And Choji said, "I'm gonna break that record, and my dad will be proud." and then Ernie brings out a cake, and he trips, and the cake smashes in his face, which is a running gag.
Yeah.
It's a good running gag, though.
The next to be different drum.
Yes.
Or soccer. This would be like a soccer episode, I feel.
Yeah.
Since
Now remember, we're not doing every episode of season 1, just some episodes.
I'm just picking and choosing at this point.
Yeah. We'll skip a few until we get to Green with Evil.
All right.
We'll do this in another one before we do Green with the Green with the Eagle saga.
I feel Happy Birthday Luffy would be something we'd do.
Yeah.
With Nasty Knight. Because that's actually a cool monster.
Yeah. Sakura was teaching a dance class, and she befriends a young deaf girl. And I forgot her name. Her name was Melissa, but I can't think of a deaf character that can play her. So
yeah.
We'll just have her be Melissa. And Sakura also teaches sign languages because and Deku joined the dance class because he wants to impress Ochako.
He looks like a complete fool at first dancing.
Yeah, and everyone but Sakura, Kairi, and Ochako laughed at him. And Sakura sees the deaf girl having troubles, and she accidentally bumps into another girl named. I'm thinking of who could be a rude. I was thinking Trixie Tang, but that was rude to her.
Could work, or Ami from Naruto.
Yeah, okay, her.
Picked on Sakura.
Yeah. Yeah. The one that had a back that had the one where Hinata stole her backstory in Naruto the Last.
Yep.
That's why I think I know I've said this before, but I still think he was writing that to be a Narusaku movie before Studio Pierrot interfered.
Yep.
Anyway,
Rhea would make gnarly gnome to hypnotize the kids to get the Rangers into a trap.
Yeah, but she couldn't hypnotize the deaf girl because she couldn't hear.
Yep.
And she
helps tell Soccer where they are, and the Rangers go find them.
Yeah. And Sora says, "We'll come back with your friends, okay?" And I believe that they find the Gnarly and they morph,
Mm-hmm.
and they and Rita sees the Rangers are winning again, and he says, "Make my monster growl." I just love that. I just love that line. Barbara Golson is great as Rita.
She is.
She was also somebody else. I forgot who.
I know she was the Mystic Mother in Mystic Force, which is who Rita was before.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the Megazord uses his famous finishing move, like probably my favorite finishing move is out of all the Megazords. When he raises his sword and
Just
slices.
slashing it.
Yeah.
Should we do the one with Pudgy Pig next?
Yeah, that was a great episode. We'll do Pudgy Pig, and then I'll think about doing one more before agreeing with evil, okay?
Unless you want to like just briefly go like mention they keep winning against other monsters.
Yeah. But we'll do Pudgy Pig first, okay?
All right. There's a cultural food fair at the school at the volun at
Yeah,
the
and one of them is
juice
and one
bar
of them,
for the school.
yeah, one of them is a cameo by Sanji.
Yeah.
And then when he sees soccer, the girls, he said, "Why, hello, ladies." And they said, "Oh, Nami, swat." And Nami rolled her eyes and said, "Get real, Sanji. I'll never like a guy like you." On a
I guess
date,
you know for like Angela first showed up in the show.
yeah. Only she won't be as Nami won't be as bitchy.
Yeah.
Nami here is well. Nami's kind of bitchy, but she's also kind-hearted.
Yeah.
That's what Luffy likes about her. Wow, she's so
Then a huge food fight breaks out during that because of Choji and Kiba.
yeah. And one of them accidentally um threw a pie at Principal Skinner.
Now here, shooting some.
Yeah, and Rita sees it and asks Finster to make.
Now, should Chalmers go Skinner?
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't you take a pie like a man?
And I was a nom.
Yes, yes, Seymour, we all know.
Then he said. Then he had another nom flashback. Then he's Johnny. Johnny. Johnny.
Johnny!
I love that. That was my favorite nom flashback. And Rita sees it, and she plans to turn to give Fencer a monster, pig
One that's
monster.
gonna eat a Finster. Maybe a monster's gonna eat a lot and eat the whole world's food. Right, my queen?
Yeah,
I have the perfect one. Pudgy Pig.
yeah, Pudgy Pig.
Brilliant, Finster.
Yeah, and Skinner tells Sora and the others to clean up the mess, even though they were innocent. And what we do? We didn't do anything.
But then they're called away to the command center by Zordon, warning them about Pudgy Pig.
Yeah. And Pudgy and Pudgy Pig is a monster that eats food a
Even
lot.
eats their weapons.
I was gonna make Sakura say, "What you mean she transformed Luffy into a monster?"
Yeah, hey! What? You have a big appetite.
Yeah. And then the Ranger, then Sora said, "It's morphin' time." And then they all do the Mastodon thing. And then they fight Pudgy Pig, and who ate their weapons.
Oh, let's make something really spicy for him.
Yep.
And they make this like really hot hoagie they give him.
Yeah, and it causes him to throw up.
Like, and he like deflates.
Yeah. Then after all and then they got their weapons and back and finished them off for good.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Next is the Eye Guy episode, where Deku has a young. I think
Well,
it was.
before that, it was the Chunky Chicken episode, but we're skipping that one
Yeah.
with the big sister thing for Sakura.
And Kairi.
Then we have Eye Guy.
Yeah. Who should be the little the genius here?
Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter. Then he said, "I created this device that would have been perfect if it weren't for my stupid sister Date." Hi, Dexter. Calm down.
Get out of my laboratory. They're what? Nothing.
What'd you say?
Where he's doing the whole get out of my lab, but he's not. They're not in his lab.
Yeah, yeah, and I missed that show. I liked it better than Jimmy Neutron, but we're getting off track.
That'd be an interesting fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't ever made a crossover with that instead of. They should have done that instead of Fairly Odd, but even if it is Cartoon Network.
We really can't do a Cartoon Network Nickelodeon crossover.
Yeah. Did you like those Timmy Power Hours episodes? Or
They were. I like the first few.
Yeah. Did you ship Jimmy with Cindy, or did?
Yeah, kind of. At least they kind of got better as it went on.
Yeah. Yeah. Dexter created a virtual reality. And you know what's sad? It's probably better than the virtual life.
Yes, I said that. And then Nerd reviewed the
Yeah.
R Zone.
Yeah. The wrist caves. Anyway, I remember that they disqualified the Willie, the little boy, even though it wasn't his fault, which was stupid.
Yeah.
We'll still have that because we'll still have it, but we'll have Mandark bribe the judges to disqualify Dexter.
Yeah, sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah, pretty soon, Dexter. It doesn't matter if your mentor is the great Deku. Mandark, will show these genius who the true genius. Sorry, I can't do man. I can't do the Mandark laugh. That's what only Eddie Deason can do
Parents
that.
were hippies.
Yeah. And we see his sister once.
Which is basically like Dexter, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I only remember that one episode of Dexter's Lab where Mandar's dad and Dexter's dad got in a fight together.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy? You threw a duck at me.
I remember that too. Anyway, Dexter was feeling so pissed off rather than sad. He hates everybody but Deku. But then he gets kidnapped by Rita.
You, young one, will make stuff for me. No way.
And I'm afraid you have no choice. Then she captures Dexter and accidentally drops his glasses. And these are Dexter's glasses. I bet you Rita has something to do with it, Sora said.
Very good to ask Zoran.
Yeah, and he was captured by Eye Guy. And Zoran explains Eye Guy must be destroyed. His main eye.
I can only guess which one that is.
Yeah.
Aim for the biggest one.
And Sora said, "I'll take it." No, Sora, I'll take it.
I'll get him out.
This is where Deku's character develops a little bit. He fights the Eye Guy, and then he throws up the Power Lance, weakening him. And Rita says, "Monster,
make my monster grow."
And then when as soon as he grows, Luffy says, "Seriously, is that all she's gonna do every time the monster gets weak?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they summon the Megazord, and once again it's a big battle. But they destroyed it but they destroyed Eye Guy and saved Dexter.
So we're skipping For Whom the Bell Trolls and going right into Happy Birthday Luffy, which this could be like a Luffy Nami episode.
Yeah.
Maybe Nasty Knight will kidnap Nami.
Yeah. This time I'm going to ask... Luffy's planning to ask out Nami. But then Rita's...
They're also planning a surprise party for Luffy, even getting Shanks and Uta in.
Yeah.
And Sabo.
Nami too planned it. Because she cares for Luffy as a friend right now.
Should the other Straw Hats also be there too?
Yeah. Zoro too.
Robin especially.
In fact, Robin's one of the teachers in Angel Grove High. In fact, I might have her know that they're Rangers, but she keeps it a secret.
She's smart like that. She'd figure it out.
Yeah. In fact, we could have her be part of an episode where she meets Zordon and she promises to keep it a secret.
Yeah, maybe I could see that, but trying to figure out which one would work.
Probably late season 2 or early season 2.
Okay.
But we're doing most of season 1 today.
All right.
And
Luffy has the Nasty Knight basically kidnaps Nami because Luffy was gonna just talk to her.
Yeah, they get away from the party for a bit, and Luffy says,
But
well,
they don't
Nami,
really. Well, Luffy doesn't know they're going to be doing it, thinking everybody forgot his birthday.
Yeah.
But Nami is ordered to like keep him away from the youth center for a while.
Yeah. You know, Luffy, I remember when we were kids, you always were the same. You're still the same goofball. That it still makes me laugh. Then they get surrounded by putties.
Now, what are these things? Trouble.
Then they ask,
Go, Nami. No way. I can fight too.
and then she has a stick. But you carry that stick with you?
Where do you keep that?
Then she said, "It doesn't matter. We gotta fight these creeps." Right.
At least until the Power Rangers can get here. Yeah, the Power Rangers. They'll be here.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, one of the putties tripped Nami, and they grabbed her. And they took her. No.
Then I feel like Nasty Knight would show up to also like defeat Luffy while they're getting away with Nami.
Yeah.
Then he reports back to the command center. Zoro brings the others in. Oh my god, Luffy, what happened? Nami taken by a monster. Oh no. Zoro the Viewing Globe Rangers, and they see Nasty Knight with Nami.
Yeah, what's he planning to do with Nami, Zordon? Rita
Most
wants
likely
her.
to lure you all out.
Yeah, I could see Rita wanting her power, wanting her to use her as. Well, not yet. No, because that's what she. That's why she captured Naruto later.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers. Anyway, Luffy says Nami's in trouble. I'm gonna go after her. No,
Sorgo, like Luffy, wait, we need a plan. You just can't go in there without a plan.
But he said, I don't care.
This guy is one of the more powerful as Goldar is.
Yeah, I don't care. What would you do if the same thing happened to Kairi, Store?
I would do the same thing, but we still need a plan. All right, we will get her back.
Yeah.
You're also showing Sora being a leader.
Yeah. You're right, Sora. I'm sorry, man. No problem, dude. You're my best friend.
Could it also be that you like Nami?
And Sora says, yeah, sure. and then they reach up to Nasty Knight, who's keeping Nami hostage. Let her go. You don't have no chance against me, Black Ranger. Now Nami will be one of us over my dead body. That's the idea.
Yeah. Oh, you figured the rest of the plan out.
And Luffy and Nasty Knight gets in a one-on-one battle.
With Luffy using his axe more.
Yeah. And then Luffy finally saves Nami and grabs her and says, "Are you okay, miss?" "Thanks." And she feels like, "You feel familiar." And she says, "Don't worry about that. Just find a safe place to hide until we take care of this."
Let the rest of my team deal with this. Okay.
And then she says, "Is that?"
No, it couldn't be.
Then she hides away behind a rock. And then I believe this is the episode where Nasty Knight grows.
Yeah. He damaged their weapons first, then he grew.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
So have I. This be where Luffy and Nami get together.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, they fight Nasty Night and Luffy realized that he's reflecting their energy, and they decided to reflect their energy of their own. And Megazord's eyes shoot some energy at his sword, and then he finishes him off. And then Rita says, "I can't believe it. That's all your fault." And back at the youth center, Nami looks up with wonder, and then the Rangers leave. And then a few minutes, Nami, I look for you everywhere. Are you okay? Uh, yeah, Luffy. Yeah, I am.
No, you gotta go to the youth center. I got a big surprise for you.
And then when he arrives at the youth center, they go, "Surprise! Happy birthday, Luffy!" And Luffy's like,
He's like all his friends, like Shanks, Ace, Sabo, Makino, Uta,
"Yeah."
even one of his
And
teachers, Nico Robbins, there too.
you, what's this about? Well, it's your birthday. We wanted to celebrate with your friends and family. I
I
don't
thought
know.
you guys forgot. We never do that.
Yeah.
You can see Ace going, "Of course we won't, you little doofus." Because Ace
And then
would call Luffy a doofus.
yeah, and then Nami says, "I'm going to give you your first birthday gift." And he looks at her confused. Then she kisses his lips, and everyone cheers except for Sanji.
No!
I just love making him a butt monkey. It's just so
Yeah.
funny. Now we're
So does
now
this
I believe
mean you're a couple, Nami? Well, what do
I
you
guess it
think?
does. And next is we finally get to see him, the one, the only Naruto Uzumaki. That's good. Yeah, that's right. He's gonna be Tommy. Usually it'd be someone like Riku, but I think Naruto would fit him here. When when
Well, they're
when
sort of doing
Sakura,
like a karate tournament when they meet this new kid, that being Naruto, who's doing this unusual
when Sakura,
karate moves. Like, what is he doing? I don't know. It's some kind of different martial arts. Again, I'm tying him into like Jungle Fury.
yeah, I didn't watch much Jungle Fury, admittingly, but I should. Maybe I will
I'm basically
sometime.
making him part RJ in this, who is the
Yeah,
Wolf Ranger.
and
Since RJ has a
okay,
unique fighting style where he uses like knees and elbows.
yeah. The first part, yeah, the first part was when when Sakura looks at him and Kari asks, what are you doing? Kari and Nami asks, what are you doing? And she's, oh, nothing. Ah, you like him, huh? No, no, no,
I
no,
mean,
no,
he
no.
is cute.
But I've seen you that look. I know that look, says Kari. That's how I felt when I met Kari. You known Sora since you were 6. You had a crush on him then?
Maybe.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're together now. And
They see all the stuff Naruto can do in the tournament. Like, oh, it looks like you have some competition, Sora.
yeah. And they ended up with a tie. And
And he like introduces himself.
Yeah, I'm Naruto. I'm Sora. And then he does a double take when he sees Sakura, and feels his heart pumping. And
But then he also later he says he transferred into the school and like shows off his karate skills in front of Choji, scaring him away from Sakura.
yeah, and then she's like, "Wow, that was really
I'm
great."
Sakura. Naruto. Thanks. Some interesting
And then he's like,
stuff you said. I've been learning this special band of kung fu since I was a kid. Even my parents know it.
yes, because in this, Minato and Kushina are alive.
And somewhat also, kind of also Rangers too, in a way.
Yeah, we'll explain. We'll get to them later.
I'll try to explain it as I can.
Yeah.
On his way walking home or walking somewhere, Rita kidnaps him. Like, Naruto, I've chosen you to be my warrior.
No. And then after that, she gets hypnotized and said, "How can I serve my empress? You will go down to the command center and destroy Zordon. Then you will." Then
he's morphed into like the Green Ranger.
Yeah, and then he makes it to Zordon's lair and shuts down Alpha. And then he says,
Okay.
Then he said, "How can you be here?"
I am a ranger for my Empress Rita. Naruto, stop! You don't know what you're doing. And he starts to wreck it as Zordon tells him to stop.
Yeah, he said, "Tommy, it's Naruto. You need help. I can say, worry about saving yourself, old man." And he destroys the computers. And then he says, "It is done." And then it is done, my Empress. Zordon has been eliminated. And the Power Rangers are dead.
I forget, is that where he meets them and defeats them?
Yeah. And I love Naruto doing the evil laugh. Imagine Josh Keaton's doing that. The Tommy evil laugh.
That'd be interesting.
When I heard then during the laugh, he goes, and then Naruto Sora says, "Okay, we get it. You're actually Luffy would be the one that said, okay, we get it.
You're evil." I think that's also where he got into their Zord and shut it down.
Yeah.
Empress Rita.
Yeah.
And then part 2 is where Sora's kidnapped by Goldar and he has to try and fight without his powers.
Yeah, I remember being scared.
I think that's also where Scorpina shows up.
Yeah.
Should we keep her around and like have a rivalry with one of the girls?
Yeah. Should be Sakura's rival or Kairi's?
Probably Sakura's.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make her Hinata.
We could. Do you want to do that?
That's probably, if you want to, we can, but we don't have to.
I don't want to include Hinata and Sasuke anyway.
All right.
They won't exist here. And meanwhile, Sora looks for Naruto and says, "Hey Naruto, something come up. Can we train later?" And he says, "Yeah." And then
sure,
he said,
buddy. His eyes are glowing green.
And Sora looks at him suspiciously.
You might want to get those glowing eyes looked at, man.
Because Sora here isn't stupid. Jason isn't either. I'm just making Sora smarter than Jason. Then he teleports Sora to the dark dimension. And then he sees Goldar and tries to...
I think this is also the episode where I think Naruto get the Sword of Darkness. or the
Yeah.
dragon. It's either the Sword of Darkness or the Dragon Dagger.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I forget what he got first.
I think the Dragon Dagger. And then I mean
I
the
think
Sword of
in
Darkness.
part forward is where Rita made Tommy grow into a giant.
Yeah, but we'll get there. But Kyrie was worried, but Sora he hasn't showed up for like 3 hours and said, "This isn't like him." I'm worried, guys.
I mean, Sora's gone in the command center has been trashed. I think it's also where they use the rad bug to get into the command center.
Yeah, and they already fixed Alpha, right?
I think that, well, they don't. I think so.
Yeah. Have you found located Zordon? No, not yet. Great. And Zordon's missing into another dimension, and we don't know.
We know where Sora is.
Can this, and Naruto? I've been. I talked to Naruto, and he's been feeling strange. Like I know we haven't known him that much, but
Something's off with him.
yes.
Meanwhile, Sora's having a hard time fighting Goldar.
Yeah. And you got to give just Jason this. He's holding his own against Goddard despite being a human.
Yeah, and he's unmorphed.
Yeah. That's why he was one of my favorite Rangers when I was a kid.
I mean, in Cosmic Fury, Tarek took out a monster by himself without even morphing.
That's awesome. And we see that part where Goddard tries to stab him with the sword, where he keeps and Sora hides away in the fog or the smoke, and then Sora calculates and then hide and then.
Did he do a Luke King bicycle kick?
Yeah, and then so Goddard, how does it feel about to be outsmarted by a human being? No human.
You're not outsmarted me. I'm still more powerful than you. Even without your powers, you're nothing.
Yeah, and then Sora's about to fight, and part of 3 starts with Goddard, them continuing the battle, and then Green Ranger showed up and said, "Rita needs you." What? I got this guy. And Sora says, "You're a ranger and serve Rita. Rita's my empress, and she will rule the world. She's evil." Yeah, well, so am I.
If you're a real ranger, be on Zoran's side.
Yeah. And then they started, and then they have their battle, and then Sora started his battle tactics.
I can see here Naruto's using more of his Paichwa skills, and that's also kind of a clue to Sora figuring out who he is.
Yeah, but he doesn't realize it till later, though.
Okay.
And then that's.
I think Luffy, they find out where Sora is, and then Luffy goes in to get him.
Yeah. No, actually, that was for later.
I know it was in that episode, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Maybe that happened. And then after they rescue Sora, he said one thing. I was talking to Naruto. Next thing I was told. Then Sakura said, "I talked to Naruto earlier. He said he hasn't seen. He hasn't." And then Sora said, "That's." Then he started to get suspicious.
They won't find out till the end of the part 4.
Yeah, which we're going to right now.
All right.
And we see Green Rangers try to sneak back in the command center to get rid of Zordon for good, but Alpha's more prepared, and he captured him in a shield. He said, "I thought I've..."
Won't stop me.
Yeah. And then and then Rita frees him, and later on, the the Rangers fight Goldar Scorpion, which is funny that she looks like a scorpion now that when she's grown.
Yeah, she turns into an actual scorpion monster.
Yeah. And then something unexpected happened. Rita Rita grows the
Grows the Green Ranger.
and then oh, it's Green Ranger. And then he started kicking their asses. And then and then he the Green Ranger uses his power sword to knock them off the Megazord and he sends them to the ends of the earth. And they all cried. Sakura Sakura said, when I just watched him a couple years ago and said, "Wow, that was terrible acting."
Hmm.
But they did get better. The Rangers act, at least the Rangers actors.
Yeah.
Then they returned to the command center.
Then Alva realizes shows him that he knows who the Green Ranger is.
What? Who? I mean, how'd you? Well, while I was putting on the shield, I was able to detect it somehow. Then they looked at the V-Glow and said,
No way. You see, it's Naruto as the Green Ranger.
"How could Naruto do this to us?" asked Luffy. I mean, I know we know him for days, but he seems like a good guy.
I feel Rita's got something to do with this.
Yeah,
I guess Sword makes a speech about why they had to save him.
yeah. And then he says, "And who knows? Maybe he make a. Maybe he make a. We can turn him into a teammate." Wait, just like that? You want him to join? Yeah. I mean, he's
So they
strong.
tip the odds in our favor against Rita. I think this is also where Zordon comes back.
Not yet.
That
And then,
I know one scenes where like Sakura goes to see Naruto at the juice bars working out. It's like we know you're the Green Ranger.
yeah, and then he said, "That's right,
We're back
Sakura."
at Pink Ranger, and you and your team are going to be destroyed.
Then she said, "Let us hope we can break this. Rita is my empress. She will rule the world. You've been warned." Then she sees his eyes glow.
He is totally out to get us.
And
Also,
then,
think we're here. He gets the Sword of Darkness.
yeah, this is a scene where he gets the dragon dagger. Behold, the mighty. Now you could use it to summon the dragon. So then he do. Do, 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 do.
Which is the coolest Zord in the series.
Yep, he's basically Godzilla.
Yeah, it's Godzilla.
Which is funny. When I was a kid and got to Godzilla, after I got the Power Rangers, I've always wanted to see that cross. And they made a comic based off of it.
Oh, Mecha.
And then Alpha was looking for a way to bring Zordon back, but he's getting close. He sees that anything back at the Billy's garage, or no, Deku's garage. He's like, hey guys, and did you find Naruto? Yeah, Sakura says, I found him. And his eyes were glowing green. And he knows we're the Power Rangers.
He's so out to get us.
Yeah. And Sora said that's must be why he's acting so weird and why the putties didn't attack him earlier. Then Kyrie comes in. Then Kyrie's come to the garage with the breath, and so Sora said, "What's wrong? You look like you've seen Godzilla." I have. Sora.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's all over the radio. A monster's attacking the business district. Then that's where Naruto is. We gotta find a way to. Okay, guys, it's morphin' time. Mastodon, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, and they turn back into the. And
they also get their. I'm pretty sure they get their Megazord back too.
Yeah. And that's when Sword realizes Zordon's back because Alpha got him back.
You have to. And that's where they tell him, like, you have to destroy the Sword of Darkness to free him. And also where Sora goes down to fight Naruto one-on-one.
Yeah. And he's like, give it up, Naruto. No way. Which it did not sound like Jason David Frank. And he said no. Sorry it had to be like this, but Zordon says I gotta destroy the sword to save you before you and Rita destroy the world. Alright guys, I'm going. And then that's where they had the fight. And it's gonna be longer than the original fight. Because the original fight was missing.
They were already on a time crunch anyway, so.
Yeah. And then Naruto, fight it. Then we see Naruto trying to get into his system, trying to fight. We see Naruto fighting his evil self in his thoughts, which would be a good scene, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like if Anakin was fighting in his inner thoughts.
Fighting Vader.
Yes, in Return of the Jedi, which I think was happening.
Then Naruto's animal spirit's probably in there with him.
What?
Naruto's animal spirit's probably in there with him on his side. It being a wolf.
Yep.
Because he's a wolf in this one, not a fox.
Yeah.
His mom's the fox.
Right. And then Naruto finally came back to his senses and destroyed the power sword.
He dispelled the darkness and mind control and broke the sword of darkness himself.
Then he says, "What have I done?" What you did was under.
He'd also demorphed too.
What? Yeah, and Sora and the others demorphed, and then Naruto says, "What have I done?" What you did when you were under Rita's influence, but now it's your powers. If I borrow your side, we could defeat Rita. After everything that's happened,
Naruto, we need you.
It's where you belong. And he was unsure. And he looks at Sakura. And then she was the one that asked, would you join us, Naruto?
Please.
And then Naruto turns to Sora and they shake hands.
Then they all morph and do those poses saying they're their new team now.
Yeah. We're back. We're ready to war for the action. 6 working together to fight evil and stop Rita and all of our menacing monsters. And destroying our planet Earth and ruining the universe with the look out evil. We're not backing down because we're the power. Then Zordon showed him giving him the dragon sword and tells Naruto to use his flute and shows him the dragon sword in fighting mode. Which it should have been called Mega Dragon Sword. That would have been better.
Yeah, I guess.
More phenomenal. That is so 1990. The safety in the universe is once again in your hands, Power Rangers. Ah! I can't believe that. I promise you, Zordon and his Power Rangers will be the best. And then they go back to the command center and then we said we really owe you a lot to Alpha. Alpha, you have displayed extreme leadership in my absence. I am very proud of you. You're making me blush. Wait, you're a robot. How can you blush? Asked Luffy. You know, it's...
So they did the whole Power Rangers hand thing again, but with Naruto there.
Yep. I made you a communicator. Thanks, man. Welcome to the team, Naruto. Yeah. Then he and Sakura have a moment together. They're not together yet.
No, not yet.
We'll get there when we get... You want to do the Shell Shock episode?
I was just gonna say, you want to do that one?
I think, yeah, because I like seeing Sora as a leader wanting to save his friend, save the Rangers.
We also do the one with the Spider-Tron, because that's a Luffy episode.
Yeah, sure.
I feel the Spitfire would be a good Narasaku episode.
Yeah. What about the one where the Spitfire? That's when Kimberly got kidnapped, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's when Kimberly had her bad day, and then she gets kidnapped.
Not sure.
We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. They're at the park playing basketball, and Luffy said, "All right, I'm Michael Jordan." and Sora says, "I'm Magic Johnson." And Luffy says, I'm Larry Bird." When I saw Billy play basketball, I said, "Okay, that is unrealistic," because I doubt David Yost would play like
Probably
that.
not.
Yeah. Would Deku be a good basketball player? Maybe.
Probably.
And I believe Squad and Rita decided to have a day off.
Yeah, and Squad and Balboo created a monster.
Yeah, they created a monster without Rita's permission.
They made a turtle with a traffic light on its head called Shell Shock.
Yeah, we wanted to use that ninja.
He's voiced by Richard Epcar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you even wanted to name him? Yeah, I thought about naming him Michelangelo or Donatello, but those were already taken. So why don't we... How about Blastoise? Nah, too
3 years off.
Ooh, how about shell shock? Okay, shell shocked.
We're naming him after a PTSD condition.
Yeah. All right, shell shock. Ready to rock and roll? Yeah. Now freeze those.
Yeah.
Then Sora and Naruto. We see Sora and Naruto's friendship. They start to become great best of friends, and
Do we also have Minato and Sheena show up in this?
yeah,
Who's my parents? Minato and Kashina. Nice to meet you. My son's told me a lot about you.
then
Hope not everything.
then she said, "Oh, this must be Sakura." Naruto told a lot. Mom, don't say what you have. You said, "Mom, please don't. You're embarrassing me." All right. Then Shell Shock arrives and he freezes not only Minato and Kushina.
He also makes Kairi. He also makes Kairi run uncontrollably. But she'd be morphed during that.
Yeah. Actually, that hasn't happened yet. They freeze Minato and Kushina. Oh no, what happened first? Mom, Dad, they're frozen. Guys, we gotta do. What happened? Then they see Shell Shock, and Sora says, "It's morphin' time." And then they all do their thing, and then Shell Shock fires them, and hit Kairi this time. And then,
She just runs in a random direction.
what have you done to her?
It's part of the game. Ever played red light, green light?
Yeah, and then Sora gets him out, and then he froze Sakura, Deku, and Luffy. But Sora avoided. Not this resident helps. And then he used Blade Blaster and said, "Hey, you almost
Just shut my leg.
well, not through with you." And then Sora and Naruto look at them with worry. I don't know. Tommy wasn't in the original show, but then he calls Zora, "Come in. We got problems." Yeah, I know. They froze the other Rangers and your parent. What do we do? Bring them back to the command center, and that includes your parents. What? But trust. It's okay.
Relax, Naruto. I know all about your past in the Paishwa Academy. You do? Okay.
Yeah. And then the villains, but Goldar was angry that they made a monster without Rita's permission. And he said, "You have a." Then he said, "You haven't won yet. Are you mad because we finally won? You haven't won yet, Pipsqueak, and you never will." Godar's jealous. Wow, Rita congratulated them, and Goldar was mad.
What? They're getting congratulated?
Yeah, and then Alpha was trying to find a way to free them, and then he says, "There's no cure for Sora. It can't be cured." Not true. There's a rare flower called the Dintra that can reverse the effects of the ray. Where could I get one? Asked Sora. The interest can be only one place in the entire universe. Where? The Mountain of Hope. I sent Kairi there to find
It's
it.
already on the move, so it'll work.
Don't worry, Sora. I'll never let Rita defeat the Power Rangers.
thing here is if we could probably get Minato and Shiina to like somewhat help out by using the Spirit Rangers from them.
Yeah.
Which Minato's would be a shark and Kushina's would be a fox.
Yeah.
It'd be a light blue ranger and an orange ranger.
Yeah, and when they unfroze.
Whoa!
And me
Spirit Rangers, cool.
And
How is
then Kushina said, "Oh, hello, Zordon." Wait, what? You know Zordon?
All right, the Page War Academy knows about Zordon and all the other things out there.
Wait, so do you know
Page One Masters?
And
they show their emblems on their wrists.
Yeah, and then he said, "So you probably know."
I'm also known as Master Finn, the shark of the shark spirit.
Yeah, and so
my wife is the Fox Master.
Yeah, and Naruto says, "So you must know I'm a Power Ranger now."
Kind of obvious. I mean, you already trained to be one at the academy. Wait, Naruto, you were? Yeah, I have the wolf spirit.
That's awesome. But we gotta.
You could use your help in this fight. Our spirits will help you.
Yeah, and then he said. Then they see the shell shock destroying the city, and said, "Oh no, we gotta go. We gotta go, Naruto." And then he said, I'm out of here." And then he teleported the city. I need dinosaur power now. And Sora uses dinosaur, and Naruto summoned Dragon Zord.
Like, music seems like, whoa, that's our son Zord? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Kushina said, maybe whoever made that was a Godzilla fan.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Kairi meanwhile, at the Mountain of Hope, Kairi finds the Ender flowers. I just hope we can use this to stop shell shock. I just wish I could stop moving.
My legs are getting so tired.
And shell shock was having his way against Naruto's Zord. And Kairi arrives just in time, and she said, "Hold on, guys." And she uses the sword to undo the spell. And then the effects seem to work, and the others began to move again. That's awesome. I thought it was going to be them all in the mannequins, says Sakura. What happened to the monster? Rita, what happened to us? Rita's monster froze you with a stop ray. But Trina used Sakura. Kairi used the Ender flowers to release you. Look for the Viewing Globe. As they see Naruto and Sora work together and beat the monster. And they all cheered. And Sakura said, those two being working together, I don't think Rita stands a chance against us.
You see, Miyagi is dancing. Yeah, what the others would think of Miyata and Kushina knowing their rangers.
He would ask them. He would ask them questions.
I can see them also saying, "If you ever need help, our spirit rangers will help out when needed."
Thank you, Mom. And he hugs Sakura. And then she said, by the way, I approve of that, Sakura. Mom! What? I want grandchildren. Mom, we're too young for that.
Guys, I just met her like not that long ago.
But you have a crush on her. Don't say it like that.
So next, you want to skip the Spitflower?
Yeah.
Because they do what you do a couple more episodes, then do Island of Illusion.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll do
Probably just skip to Green Candle.
yeah. Sakura wakes up with the the spirit. You're right. The spirit flower wasn't.
That's where Naruto's gonna help Sakura fix her float thing she was making.
Yeah, we see them flirting too. But they flirt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they would.
And Nami and Ochako help. Then she says, "I wonder who the, who's my favorite Power Ranger? The black one."
Ochako, I like the blue one.
And Sakura gives Naruto a knowing smirk.
I like that Green Ranger. So mysterious.
Yeah. And Rita watched the whole. I think I just make float into my own.
Yeah. Because the putties would destroy the float Sakura is working on, but then later Naruto and Alpha remake it.
Yeah, we don't know about that yet, do we?
I mean, that's later. Sakura doesn't know, but he's doing it in secret.
Yeah. And Sakura said, "Oh, I worked hard with this. Without this model, we can't use the float."
All right, calm down, Sakura. I got an idea. What's the point? There's not enough time.
Huh?
Sakura would just like give up there and like saying there's not enough time to remake it.
Yeah.
Then Rita makes the Spitflower monster.
Yeah. Yeah, gobbles up the flowers. Then it. And then after that, Zordon summons them. And she said, and then he said, Rita wants to destroy the Power Peace Parade. She had just unleashed a new monster called the Spitflower. Those are dangerous. Ay. Those are dangerous daisies. Oh. A peace on Earth will be dealt with another blow. The Spitflower's armor is like armor with weak spot. Then he said, "It's near the park bridge. Let's go there. It's morphin' time." And then they arrived. And the Spitflower starting shooting beams, and they started.
Sakura get the dragon shield here.
Yeah. Naruto gives it to her. Then he hugs.
Yeah, wait, here, take this. He gives her his shield.
This will protect.
Yeah, cool.
What about you? I'll be fine. and then Sakura fights the spit flower, and she gets the better of him, and releases all her friends. And then Rita says, I have the magic wand. Make my monster grow. Then Spitflower go and Naruto said, we need dinosaur power now. And then I tried the Mega Dragon Zord. But the Spitflower was too much for them. Then she said, then Zora has a plan. If you destroy the Spitflowers, I forgot what it's called, but Sakura says I could use it with my Power Bowl. And then they were like, all right, Naruto, you must stay here. If the Power Rangers fail, you are our last hope. Okay. Translation, he wasn't in the Z Ranger.
Yeah.
And they use their weapons, and Sakura used the bowl. And then they combine their powers and use the power axe, power bow, power daggers, power lance, power sword. They fire at the Spitflower, destroying it. We did, and that the command center, Naruto and Alpha celebrate, and he said, "Now that defeated the monster, Alpha, I need something with your help." And then he fixed on the float.
Sakura would see it and then just hug Naruto.
And then she kisses his cheek. Then he does the dumbstruck, like when he gets his. Sakura kissed his cheek. And then next is Island of Illusions, I believe.
Are we skipping Flights of Masquerading Gung Ho?
Actually, we'll do
Gung Ho has Titanus in it.
Yeah, they're both big.
Because that's where. Because Gung Ho, it could be a Sora Naruto episode where they can trust each other.
Yeah, but we got to do that Halloween episode too.
Oh yeah, with the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, but rather than doing the public domain costume, we'll do ones that they're dressed as.
The Boris Karloff one.
Yeah. And the Rangers are dressed up as characters, their favorite characters from other franchises. Like
Deku would try to be Sherlock Holmes.
Who?
Deku would be Sherlock Holmes.
I don't. Sora will probably be Batman. I'll Sora be Batman.
Yeah.
And Kairi will be Catwoman.
Probably from Batman Returns, because that was a year after this. That was a year before this was a thing.
Yeah, I am Catwoman. Hear me roar. And Sakura what would Sakura be dressed as?
Chitara from Thundercats.
Sure. And Naruto will be. Actually, Naruto will be Lionel.
Or he could be Frankenstein, because I could see him being a big Frankenstein fan.
Yeah, and what would Luffy? How about Luffy be dressed as Goku? Since Dragon Ball,
Okay.
Dragon Ball would be a thing.
Okay.
It's like when Sheena was dressed as Goku in that one Halloween fic.
I think he could have done better with the costumes, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind him using Sheena being a Dragon Ball fan, but that was too much.
And he made Hanami a Sailor Moon fan.
Yeah, and I thought that was cute.
She make an adorable Sailor Mini Moon.
Yeah. And it was a costume made by Sakura. Because I could see Sakura doing that.
Yeah.
Then, well, then Luffy and Nami hang out together, and Deku was and Ochako asked Deku to get, and he gets all, and he has that running gag of Deku being all nervous.
Yeah.
And then Naruto and Sora and Kai danced together and said, "Oh, he got it bad for her." You think they'll ever get together? Please. I bet you by the end of this, by the end of our senior year, we'll all be having dates. And then Sora whispered to Kai, "Zoran sees potential in both Nami and Ochako." "What do you mean?" asks Kai. He said, "I could tell you this."
Yeah, I think he might want to make them Rangers.
Are you sure?
Just keep it quiet for now.
Right. Then she said, I wonder what dinosaurs they will have. Do you know, Sora?
No. Only Alpha and Zoran would know that.
Yeah. Then Rita makes the Frankenstein monster.
They think it's Naruto.
Yeah. When Deku says, "Well, I thought I saw Boris Karloff."
It's Boris Karloff back from the dead.
We never see much of Kiba and Choji, but we should have them do their shenanigans. They try to dress up his costume. One is fat Elvis, and the other is skinny Elvis.
We're gonna win the masquerade contest. They do the Elvis voice.
Yeah. And then what I didn't know was Frankenstein was looking for the window.
Oh, it looks just like the real Frankenstein.
Yeah. And then they see Ernie dressed as Dragon. "I want to suck." "I'm going to suck." Is that based off that Simpsons episode? So where Krusty dressed as Dracula said, "I'm going to suck."
Hey, blood.
Yeah. And Sokka said, "I'll take a pass on it. I'm waiting for Naruto." How'd you know it was me? Well, one thing, you don't look like Bella Lugosi.
You're Bella Lugosi if you've gained 200 pounds.
And Arnie asks, "How do you know who Bella Lugosi is? You haven't even watched more." "Naruto made me. He loves horror movies. He showed me Dracula last week."
It was actually really interesting. He even showed me behind the scenes and interviews with people who talked about Bela Lugosi.
Including this one guy, James Rolfe. I think he's going to go some places. I had to do an AVGN joke. Then they noticed it's Alpha 5.
Is that Alpha? Alpha, what are you doing? Oh, this scene here. What
I
they
just
don't know
wanna
is
see-
you this thing. It's a costume.
What costume?
It's a nice costume. Hmm.
And Ernie said, "Now that is a costume." We
Even
saw,
funnier that Alpha won the contest.
yeah. And
So then the Rangers go fight the Frankenstein monster,
yeah,
who uses its neck bolts as like a chain whip.
yeah.
Like, oh god, that is so cool.
Yeah, and you know what? He's been kicking all around. That was the strongest monster they fought, the Frankenstein monster.
I mean, but if you're not counting Nasty Knight, not really.
True, but he was winning until they did the finishing move.
Yeah, where they use they I forget they combined two of the Zords with a Dragon Zord for the spear.
Yeah,
I also can see during this Naruto and the Dragon Zord are getting closer as friends.
and who?
Naruto and the Dragon Zord.
Yeah, and when the Dragon Zord gets close, he's like, "Wow, you have
You're awesome, you know that?
yeah."
Seems you two got really close together. Yeah, we have.
Hmm.
He's like one of my best friends.
Yeah. And after that, the costume contest was, and Alpha 5 was declared the winner.
Well, Naruto comes out dressed as Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah, since I watched Frankenstein last week and that monster inspired me. So,
That
you're right.
and Frankenstein's my favorite of the Universal movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and Soros is my favorite is probably the Mummy.
Played by the same actor.
Yeah, every time I see that scare, I don't know why, but I have this chilling. I get scared every
Just
time I see.
mesmerized.
Yeah, and I heard they're remaking the movie. Only they're making
Who
an
had the
action.
more creepy stare, Lugosi or Karloff?
Karloff. They're both creepy, but every time I look at that stare,
I mean,
stare,
Karloff actually looked like he was like dead. It was a dead stare. Like there's no life in his eyes.
every time I look at that, I'm like, ugh.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And Naruto said, I heard they're making a new Mummy movie soon. I just hope it doesn't star Brendan Fraser.
Too late.
and it's a goofy action. Well, but that's not the Mummy. The Mummy should be a horror movie,
Monster.
a horror monster. But as long as they keep up with the spirit, I don't mind if they remake the original version. Just as long they don't make it suck like Coppola's Dracula.
The next would be Gung Ho.
Yeah, Gung Ho was next, I believe.
Yeah, because that's where they get the super putties, and that's where they get their new Z blasters.
Yeah,
It's also where they meet Titanus,
yeah, Titanus is important.
Ultra Zord that's not used that much.
Yeah,
But I actually read a fic where that actually became a ranger.
yeah,
It was Kurosuchi that became the Titanus Ranger.
really.
Yeah. And they had like all the Rangers from Mighty Morphin to Dino Thunder in there.
Wow.
Except Lost Galaxy. There was only one Lost Galaxy and one Time Force Ranger.
Cool. And should we have Naruto and Sora have be caught under a spell like
Now
Jason
that'd
told.
be later during on Fins and Needles.
Oh yeah, I forgot which one. Um,
I know the episode you mean.
yeah, because this is a Naruto and Sora episode too.
And Garrett says, "You guys need to learn how to gung ho." What? It means be a team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look how Michael. Sora, you're a basketball fan. You know how Michael Jordan guns ho with the Bulls when in 1990. You know in 1991 he finally gung ho and he won 3 championships. That's right. And Tommy, we all know you're a football fan. Yeah, I mean Naruto, we all know you play. You're thinking about playing football and you love fun. Yeah, but yeah. Well, I have a cousin. His name is Tom Brady. He's really good. Oh, really? How good? He's gonna be the goat.
The goat. The goat.
Well, back then it means chump. Not it doesn't. It means like something like chump, but now it means the greatest of all time. But back in the '90s, it didn't mean that.
Oh, it didn't.
No, and Rita summons the super potty. And they're more powerful than the regular putties. And they attack Kari and Sakura and Nami and Ochako. And Ochako and Nami puts up with what kind of fighting style would Ochako do since Nami uses her stick?
Not really sure.
And that's when Zoran says, "I think this could be the episode where they become rain. This might be the episode where they become rain."
Maybe not. Maybe not, since he still has to make the powers.
Yeah, he's making them. He's looking at them and said,
Maybe we could use that for Doomsday.
"Yeah,
Alpha, I want to start a new project. To have 2 new additions to the team. Very well, Zordon.
yeah." And he's like, "What dinosaurs do you want me to make them?"
Use the Stegosaurus and the Ankle.
And how are they gonna? And when they combine together, they'll have. And when they morph together, they'll have their own super Megazord. We'll get there when we get there, okay?
I'm guessing Nami's weapon will be a hammer and Ochako a shield.
Yeah, or should it be something like a climb attack?
I mean, I think a hammer works better for an Ankylozord
Yeah, that's true.
with a tail.
And Ochako, what?
Ochako gets a shield.
Yeah. But we'll get there when we get there. And then they learn about Titanus. He's a really valuable ally and friend. And I believe they
use him in that episode.
Yeah, they're not using him yet. I believe that they use him in the Island of Illusions. Speaking of which, we're gonna go there right now.
All right.
And We're gonna go until Doomsday. That's when we'll stop. Okay.
When should we do the second half?
Probably in a couple weeks.
All right.
Because next week I want to do. I think we can do part 2 of Moana if we can.
All right.
Or I don't know what we're doing next week. Yeah, Luffy and Nami are having a dance competition, and Nami teaching him how to dance, how to waltz. And then Rita makes her biggest plan. Minkus will destroy the city. With Lokar sends the Rangers to the Island of Illusion. At the youth center, Naruto was teaching 2 kids karate. And he said, now remember, true martial art will use its skills for self-defense, not attacking. Face each other. You made 2 face each other. Who should be the? How about the boys be Bart and Millhouse?
I don't think they're gonna learn anything.
Okay, Ash and
Ash and Gary can work.
yeah, Ash and Gary, because they're frenemies. And then they all join together, and I'm gonna. Nami and I are gonna win our dance competition. And actually, not. Luffy will say, I don't know if I could do this, guys. I'm a terrible dancer. Nami's great. And Deku says, okay, Luffy was doubting himself. Says, and Rita finds out and said, perfect. Logar will send these power geeks to my island. At the use, yeah. Then something that the place shook, and it was an earthquake. And Ernie says, I hate it when that happens. It's California, but
Yeah, you're basically in earthquake central.
yeah. And Naruto said, that's no ordinary earthquake. We gotta contact Zordon, guys. There was no sound. And then they heard, hey, Zordon, come here. Yes, Rangers, I know. Picking up a usual power from Rita's moon base. It's more massive than I sent before. It's a power I'm not familiar with. Gotcha. And then they were about to escape, and they hear, help! It's Ash! I better go save it. You go ahead. And he reaches to Ash and Gary and said, don't worry, they'll be fine. Later on, they found Luffy in the park and said, guys, it's bad news. Yep, it's Rita. Zordon said she's about to start something. And look, then it's putties surrounding them. And
they get transferred to the Island of Illusion.
Yep.
where Goldar starts messing with them.
Yep, and they
Start to
started.
doubt themselves.
Yeah, we're gonna shorten this a little bit because we're gonna go for another hour and we're gonna do this and the Green Candle and Doomsday. Okay.
All right.
And then maybe some kind of strange guy.
And Quagmire.
And no, it was a Quagmire. That sounds like something from a. That sounds like some kind of a sex pervert. Sorry, I had to do a Family Guy joke.
Yeah.
He
I
warns
don't
them that.
really. Considering he talks in riddles.
Yeah, and Naruto's. I don't get it. Can you just go straight forward with this? This isn't Alice in Wonderland. Although it feels, I feel like we are.
Because they all start
And,
getting to remember how they were as a team when they're counting on their friends.
yep. And then he says, then they started to believe in themselves again. And they came back to Earth. And Riga says, I can't believe it. They believe all illusions. And our communicators are powerful.
It's open.
Is that again?
No, it's nothing.
Okay. And then we couldn't do. And then they fought. Maltus and Lokar. And then they said, Mega Dragon Sword activated. And then they used the Mega Dragon Sword. And then we call the power and time it. And the Ultra Sword. And we finally see the ult. It's all over for you, pal, says Sora.
Well, Lokar's not done just yet.
Yeah. In Desire Ranger, he's called the Great Satan.
Kind of reminds me of Ego being a huge face at the planet.
Yeah. And then Luffy
You
and
still get
Nami.
the stuff where Sakura calls Quagmire Quasimodo.
Yeah. And
Then to find Luffy doing the dance contest and Quagmire's the DJ.
yeah. And Sora said Quasimodo. And
He's not a
then
hunchback.
I was reading that book. And Naruto said, they say, Disney's going to make a movie of it. And Sora said, Luffy, I read that they are. I don't know if the internet was well known back then, but
I think it was in its infancy.
yeah, and I doubt they would know about makings of Disney movies yet, or Disney movies being greenlit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because looks like we're gonna have stormy weather. But anyway, next is the one, the Green Candle. And they talk about the dance and said, "Oh, by the way, I can't wait to see Nami in her dress. Have you asked Sakura out?"
Yeah, she said yes.
What? we're not doing that thing where he strolls Asuka out. And you asked her out to win last night. My mom gave me the confidence to ask her out. I can see Kushina doing that.
Yeah.
And then Rita makes her plan. The time is. I found them.
Now take the Green Ranger's powers.
With the magic wag. When it burns down, it'll steal it. First we kidnap him, then the air cell shape. Hmm. And and then they look at um Kiba and Choji. They try to get dates, and only they get rejected. And we'll develop those characters later.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Naruto called Sakura, and they're having a date at the park. She says she's very excited, and Naruto asks, "Can you give me a hint of your dress?" Now you had to be surprised. Pinched. She pinched him with his cheek. And then he was about to kiss her, but then they get attacked by putties. Then he asks, "Can't you numbskulls pick a better time to attack us?"
You guys are the worst timing.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they grab both Naruto and Sakura, and they kidnap Naruto. What's this all about, Goldar? As he's in Rita's dark image. You're not gonna hypnotize me again, are you? No, not this time. This time we're gonna take away your powers. It belonged to Rita's in the first place. No, Naruto, Alpha, forget it. Your telecommunication won't work here. And Rita makes the Cyclops monster. Then what happens next? Do you remember?
I'm trying to. I don't know if they're trying to get the candle or I forget what happens to Tommy during that.
Yeah. I think the Rangers would all reunite together. And it's one of another Rita's wicked plans. And then Zora's, I can't get a lock on. They try to, and Zoran summoned them, and we gotta find Naruto. And then they find out the Dragon Zord is destroying the city, and they tell him it's an imposter.
Naruto is somewhere, but we have a more pressing matter. We just made a candle to take away his powers.
Oh no, we got to do something fast. We have to do this without Tommy. I mean Naruto. Then they summon the dragon, and meanwhile Naruto is trying to battle Goldar, and he says he is called to battle, and he tries to get the candle, but Goldar says, "Don't give any foolish ideas. The candle will be safe when I'm away." He, he locks him in a chain, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, and Goldar shows up, and Naruto asks, "Where's Naruto?" Y'all never see her.
What do you risk, the candle or your friend?
Yeah, and Naruto's.
Hey, Naruto or Sora?
I mean, Sora was
I know
Sora.
Sora's got to go get the candle.
Yeah, and Sora says, "What's the point of having a What's the point of having a candle if you don't have a friend?"
They
Naruto,
know because he's gonna get the candle, but Zack was the one that stopped Jason from getting it because they had to go.
yeah,
In this case, Luffy's the one that stops Sora.
yeah. And
After dealing with the monster, it's too late because the candle burned down and Naruto's power was lost.
yeah,
But to keep it out of Rita's hands, he gives it to Sora.
and he said,
He gives his coin to Sora.
"Yeah," and Sora gets the shield.
The shield and the dagger. I
Yeah,
see Sora being kind of emotional, saying he failed him.
yeah,
See, Naruto saying, "Hey, hey, don't worry. I'm a ranger no matter what."
yeah.
And I guess this is where we get the scene with Naruto and Sakura becoming a couple.
Yep, they finally kiss, and every '90s kid go. "Wah!" and Soren,
Like, what are you gonna do now? I'm gonna stay, but I'm also gonna go back to Paishwa and finish my training.
yeah. Well, you'll always be a ranger, Naruto Uzumaki. You can still, we'll always be your friends.
Couldn't ask for a better one, especially my new girlfriend.
And then Naruto tells Sora this. I don't blame him for for not getting a candle. He did what he had to do. He gave it his
At
best.
least the coins, the Green Ranger power is safe in his hands.
And Sakura says, Sora feels guilty when he lets his friends down.
Yeah, it's the kind of guy he is.
No wonder Kairi fell in love with him. And Naruto asks, how did he ask her out, by the way? Then she said, oh, he had a crush on her since they were kids. Next is Doomsday. This is the.
Do you want to do Bad Reflection on You? Because that's the one with Bryan Cranston in it.
The one?
The Bad Reflection on You, where they have the evil duplicates of the Rangers.
Yeah. I guess so. Which is funny. He played Zordon in the movies. in the movie.
Yeah.
And I bet he was the only good part in that movie.
Yeah.
Rita plans to clone the Power Rangers and
Make them look bad.
yeah. And they prank Principal Skinner and good lord. and Principal Superintendent Chalmers says, Skinner!
Sir, it wasn't me.
Then he said, Detention, all of you. What? But we didn't do anything, we're innocent.
No, I saw you with my own eyes.
But and they're all detention with Bulk Skull. Then what happened?
They're stuck in detention with Choji and Kiba. Like, look, Principal Skinner, I know the routine. You can go.
Yeah.
And Choji's unpacking all this stuff his mom packed him for detention.
Yeah, and then he gets a call. Seymour, I need you right now. Yes, mother.
I know there's one scene where Sakura tries sneaking out, like, Kiba goes 3, 2, 1, then Chalmers puts her back in.
Yeah. and Sora says, "Man, that Skinner always listened to his mother." And then they turn on the TV and find out the evil Rangers. And Sora said, "Those evil Rangers must have framed us." I mean, the Power Rangers. Yeah, then they look at the Power TV and the Power Rangers. They saw the Power Rangers destroying the city, and Sora said, "The Power Ranger, the Power Ranger would never do this." I bet it's part of Rita's scams. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay, they watch the past Ranger, the evil Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
and then they trick Bulk and Skull. I mean, Kiba and Choji. Sorry, I keep doing that.
Yeah. So they get out of detention, and then they actually morph and go find the fake Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah,
they dealt with them quickly, and now we should be on Doomsday.
Yeah. Doomsday is when they honor the Power Rangers.
National Power Rangers Day.
Yeah, You know that should be. I'm surprised there's not a holiday for that. Isn't a real. You know
I'm
how they do.
surprised too.
You know how they do Batman Day and Superman Day.
Yeah.
Whoever.
So is this where Nami and Ochako become Rangers?
Yep. This is the.
So how do we start that? Will they become it in part 1 or part 2?
Part. End of part 1. Start of part 2. Okay.
All right. Because in this one, Goldar's got his own Zord and Lokar's back.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. How should we start? We start by Sakura reading newspaper day. And Naruto joins them and kisses Sakura. Ooh, Power Rangers Day. He doesn't. I don't think he got captured with those people, did he?
No, Tommy just showed up in a cameo at the end.
Yeah, that's.
To say like they're all awesome.
Yeah. You know what he should have said? I'll let you all see. We'll get there when we get there, okay?
All right.
The mayor of Angel Grove. In this one version, it's the mayor of Townsville.
You know the little guy.
Yeah.
Hi, hello, Angel Grovians. I'm here to welcome up. We're here to celebrate a group of heroes that have saved us more times than we can count. The Power Rangers.
Then he said, back in my, just like there's a bunch of superheroes at my old town called Townsville. The Powerpuff Girls. I had to do a Powerpuff Girls joke.
Is Miss Bellum there with him?
Yeah. And finally see Nico Robin, the teacher. And she said, you know, those Power Rangers are very extraordinary people. I wonder if they have a leader. And no, I wonder how their leader is doing. And then she looks at him with the wink. And
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for your location.
Sorry about that. It's, if I lose if I black out, it means I lost power. So,
Right.
anyway,
You know, there's a point in the episode where Choji and Kibo try to pass off as superheroes too.
yeah. And they all laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And they anyway, Naruto asks, what did Miss Robin means by leader? Do you think she knows something?
She might. You know how smart she is.
Yeah, I mean, she helped me with my grades, says Luffy. he's a D minus. He's a D student.
I see you're around like C student.
Okay, yeah. Sora's more of a B student. So
Deku's probably like straight A's.
what about Kairi and Sakura?
Sakura would be a straight A student.
And Kairi A minus.
B at the most.
Yeah, because she's smart, but then Rita makes a plan and Fencer said, "My queen, the vortex beam is ready. Everyone will be our prisoners." Which I don't get. Why did they trap the Rangers in a dimension? Is it because they'll find a way out? I think that's the case. Anyway, Vulcan Skull tried to speak at the podium, and then all of a sudden they disappeared. Everyone else disappeared. Miss Skinner and Chalmers disappeared.
Tennessee Chalmers going Skinner just before they disappear.
Yeah. The only ones that did disappear were the Rangers, and then this. Oh no! And Miss Nico Robin. Miss Robin, are you okay? I think so. Well, where did everybody go? I'm not sure. Then something came out of one. Then they see a car pack. And they see two people coming out. It was Ochako and Nami. And Rita says, "Blast! They won't fit in my dimension. Curses!" There was room for. There was too many seats in her dimension. It has a
capacity.
yes. What happened? I don't know, but I know someone who does. Should we do it? Yeah. Zordon, come in. Who's Zordon? Yes, I know, Ranger. And yes, I know you're with Miss Nami and
agree with him. Agree with you right now.
wait. Then they all bring up, and then when Nami and Chaco come, they freaked out when they see Zordon. But Robin is calm about it. Hello, and Miss Robin. It's been a while. Hello there, Zordon. Wait,
how do you?
How did then Robin tells the story of when she was little. She was. Where would you say she would be from?
I'm not sure.
I know her nationality is Russian, but should we still make it Russian?
Maybe.
After all, Russia is evil. But we're not getting into the politics of Russia. Just let's just say her family was killed by bad people in Russia, and Zoran saved her, and she's out to recruit Power Rangers. She's a Power Rangers recruiter.
Okay, maybe she's the one who's recommended the team to Zordon.
Yep, and she also recommended Nami and Ochako to be. In fact, Zordon will say, "Yeah, Zordon and Nami Ochako. I must give you your power coins." What, power coins? And
wait, are you saying we're gonna be? Yes.
Oh, Nami. And Nami looks at her. Nami, I'll look at her ring or power coin, and she looks down at. Like she observes the viewing globe and looks at the pies, and both of them talk to each other about what do you say, Ochako? Should we do it?
Our boyfriends are Rangers, so why not?
What, my boyfriend? You're dating Deku? When did you get out? Then when did you go out? And Well, it's a long story. Then they, there was a flashback of the Deku trying to ask out Ochako at school.
Just get that flashback of them.
Yeah, and then go back to the present, and then they both accept. All right, guys, it's worked. It's morphin' time. And Zordon explain before they do though. Zordon explains their powers. Um,
Oh, usual command the Stegosaurus Zord. Nushaku, the Ankylozord.
yeah.
Or I think I swapped those by mistake.
No, you didn't. No, that was the correct Zords, I believe.
Okay.
Nami was the Stegosaurus and Ochako Ankylosaurus.
So then Nami gets the shield then.
No, you're right. You're right. No, you were right. Let's do that. Let's reverse that.
Okay.
And Nami gets the power
Nami
hammer.
takes the Ankylo and then Ochako the Stegosaurus.
Yep. And they fought with their new Ranger suits, and they proved to be capable fighters. And they used terrible '90s puns. And you know the weirdest part? They're both played by Lucy Christian.
Yes. So it's basically her talking to herself.
Yeah. And then what happened is
I think Zordon, they're gonna fight Goldar and his Zord, but Zordon tells them they have to keep swapping their configurations
yeah.
to confuse the programming in Goldar's Zord.
Yeah. And they and then Nami reacts to their swords combining together to become the Ultra Alley sword. I couldn't think of a name.
Or should they combine with the Dragon Zord?
Yeah.
Because Sora could summon the Dragon Zord, and then that happens.
Yeah. And then overload, too many No, I don't believe it. This can't be abandoned. And they destroyed Cyclops for good.
Hmm.
You know, in the Zyranger, it was controlled by Rita Repulsa's son.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I
I know she didn't really have a son until Overdrive.
Yeah. I guess they didn't want America to fight the Power Rangers to fight a child. Guess that's why they didn't have him here. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Then he said, "Ooh, I can't stand it. It wasn't my fault. I was asleep. You can't blame me. It was all Goldar's. Never mind. Rita's get us out of here
They're
before."
all at here.
Yeah, and Rita says, "Goldar, don't ever tell me what to do again." Then everyone returned back to normal. And the mayor says,
Oh,
"Get out."
look at this. We even have 2 new Rangers.
Yep. It's the
Well, we welcome you. Ow.
and then they said, and then they hear a bunch of kids saying, "The the Red Ranger is the strongest." No, the Black Ranger is more powerful. No way, the Blue Ranger. I think the Yellow and Pink Rangers are the best. Says
And
the girl.
Naruto is going to say, kids, they're all awesome. Even those 2 new ones.
Yeah, and actually, not. And Naruto then said, "I'll give you all a secret. The Green Ranger kicked all their asses." And they said hi to Naruto. And when Naruto says hi to the Pink Ranger, he hugs her. He said, "You did great." The, later at the command center that unmorphed, Zordon says, "Victory is yours. It's time for you to choose again." What do you mean again? You've been.
Choose to become Rangers or go back to your normal lives. I had not intended to keep you from your actual lives.
Then Sora said, "There's no decision to be made,
Then
Zora."
you're stuck with us.
Yep.
And Nami and Ochako are like, no way, we're going to stay. We just became Rangers. And this is the coolest thing ever. And Ochako goes, I agree.
Yeah.
Should Naruto be there too?
Yeah. And Robin too. Said, "All right." And then he did the ceremony. They did the ceremony.
Robin's like the tech person they have.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Billy was in Zio.
Yep. Then they put their hands on together. It's Power Rangers. And so since we're Power Rangers again, still always be Power Rangers. What do you say we go celebrate by going to the juice bar? then then Luffy. It's good. It's actually they're going to be at some kind of party, and it's going to be based off the Power Rangers movie, and they hear Van Halen music because that.
They're playing Dreams.
Yep. When Van
With the
Halen
power
died,
thing.
that was the
Thank
first
you,
thing.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, and Power Rangers. Dude, keep it charging. when Van when Van Halen died, that was the only song I thought of. Eddie Van Halen, because it would probably has some more music than that, but that used to be in my head ever since I was a kid.
You guess we'll do the second half next week or later on.
Yeah, I don't know when, but I'm leaning towards either doing one or another Kingdom Hearts.
So
Kingdom
like
Hearts.
after
Yeah.
those two, like end of June.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
of course, June 27th, which is in 3 weeks from today, or 3 weeks, yeah. We're doing the
Maybe we
Kyrie
should,
podcast.
maybe we should do the rest in July then.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll talk to each other for a few minutes before we sign off, okay?
All right.
So that was Power Rangers. That was pretty fun.
It was.
It brought back childhood memories.
Even if we are adding things from later seasons.
Yeah, but it's a fanfic. It's kind of like a fanfic.
Should we have Robin officially join the team or no?
Yeah, she'll be the team, but she won't be a ranger.
All right. But you can still like aid them and knows how to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there were Rangers in the other people in the other seasons that did that.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's friends with Minato and Kushina.
She is.
Like I would assume like Zora would know like all the other Ranger seasons too.
Yeah.
Like you have to know like Princess Shayla and the Quasar Sabers.
Yeah, it could. I'm excited. Uh, in July, we'll remake the Jumanji podcast. Okay.
All right.
And you know what? We haven't used Sasuke in a while as a villain.
You don't need him in everything.
Right. I might do a face-off one.
I guess.
Imagine, imagine Yuri Lowenthal doing a Nicolas Cage impersonation.
For the next 100 years.
Technically, that would be Josh Keaton as Travolta. But he was imitating Nicolas Cage there.
Yeah. Are you still adding that Sheena subplot from your fic in this?
What?
Are we gonna add that Sheena subplot from your fic?
Yes, I am. Because I doubt he would have Bolt.
No.
Bolt is too unlikable.
Yep, he is. Yeah.
I also want to do a Naruto one someday.
Okay.
With girl Sheena. Later on, I'm gonna watch Avatar. I'm gonna watch one episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender per day. till the series finale.
Okay.
Why am I doing? I just want to. Not
You want to savor it?
what?
You want to savor it?
Yeah. I think writing wise, it's the best. It's the best Nickelodeon show ever.
Mm-hmm. You think that movie's not going to be good?
You don't think the movie's gonna be good? The
No.
one with Future Aang.
I mean, you already got. You're not bringing the original cast back, so why even care?
That's true.
I mean, I'd be shocked that they brought Bosco back.
Yeah.
Well, somehow that Netflix show is getting a second season.
Don't people hate it?
I guess it did well enough.
Yeah. At least people love the One Piece show.
Yeah.
I just
That's the
hope they
only
don't
good
make.
adaptation Netflix can do.
Thank you, Oda.
I kind of think Chopper looks okay from that
Yeah.
reveal.
Yeah, I mean, could be.
I
Could have
wasn't.
been.
I didn't know what to expect with him.
He could have looked like the original Sonic design.
I was thinking he looked more like Stitch or Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, or Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, something like that.
But they got his character right, where he said, "So someone call a doctor." Oh wait, I'm a doctor. And
You can't buy me up with your claps. The fact
yeah,
that they had him hiding in the wrong position.
the writers know the characters of One Piece.
I think it's more they're forced to know it because of Oda.
Yep.
I'm gonna head out for
Okay.
today. See you
Okay.
next week.
Bye.